Greetings, my brilliant souls. It's Dante here. We're out here at Lake Atitlan. Birds are chirping. We're in nature. There's the amazing volcanoes in the background. Get some cloud cover today. We're in total lockdown in Guatemala again. We're still doing that thing, but I'm enjoying it because it gives me more time to turn within and focus on all of these very productive things in my life. So today the video is about motivation tips. How can we cultivate an energy of passion and an intense yearning to to do all those things that we know are the very best for us. This is almost a challenging video for me, but it's just coming up for me as the topic today. It's challenging because I think I'm a person who's been very naturally motivated to do things. So before really getting into the tips, I'll share a little bit about my journey with this. And I think the first thing that has came to me as a strong motivation was working out. And years ago, was I was maybe 17, 16 when I started to care about my body in that sense. Before then, I did sports like sometimes, once a year there was that sports team that I did do, but I didn't exercise beyond that and I wasn't into it. I was kind of sedentary playing video games while I was a child. And what motivated me to start working out was I actually was coming to a greater degree of self-honesty, self-acceptance, self-love. I realized I was gay at that time, and I then started to see things in a very different way. I was wondering why I never really was into this idea of having a relationship, and I didn't care about my body because there was no feeling of really having a relationship and showing up for somebody. So what then motivated me to get my ass into gear was, I want relationships, I want connection, I want to be beautiful, and male bodies are beautiful, and mine can be beautiful too. So I'm going to work towards that goal. And every day I kept that in my mind, and I had a long-term perspective of, well, I'm doing this now, and it may take a while, but I'm going to get there. And also I came to really enjoy that rush, that push of endorphins and everything that would come with working out. And as things changed in my life, I did get to a point where I'm kind of not fat anymore. I don't care about this. I'm gonna chill. And I then was going through a big period of depression in my life because of family issues, conflicts, and health issues, and also coming of age at that point at 18, which is not really accurate maturation at all, but nonetheless, that's what our culture is bringing us to mature at, or think of ourselves as mature at. And so then that brought me to yoga. The motivation for doing yoga was really to get out of that stuck place emotionally. And when we're in a place of stagnation, there can be this mental tendency to try to figure out what to do first. But figuring it out never works. And we only are attempting to figure it out up here never works. We have to figure it out here. And in our heart, we find that inspiration when we take action. More inspiration comes to us when we take action. It's like we're breaking out of these constraints. And once we do break out of them, we can feel the joy of doing it. And just starting is the most important thing. We have to not let fear slow us down from taking the first step. And fear of failure is big when it comes to these bigger projects that involve putting ourselves out there. Because again, our soul thrives best when we are contributing something into the collective and we are seen for who we are and our gifts are received. And that often will trigger that fear of rejection. And we have to reframe rejection and failure. Rejection isn't anyone it's not something personal as much as it's the universe redirecting us towards people that are actually akin to our vibration. And failure is not a problem. Failure is the process of learning lessons that will align us with success the next time around. So when we have that reframe and we really believe that we can do nothing wrong, then it's so much easier to take those first steps. And I talk about the sense of 5D motivation versus 3D motivation because there is kind of a tendency in our cultural conditioning that we just have to push through everything. And this is a bit of a self-punishment process I see very often with people, that they push and they push and they push. And so my natural, powerful motivation did eventually lead me to places of feeling burnout and doing yoga every single day. At points I got to, wow, like I don't want to do this anymore because this is hurting me. And actually it's so possible that we can hurt ourselves with yoga and other practices that when we do it with consciousness are helpful. So there's that other flip side to it, that we have to really fully feel in our heart that this is what we want. And in order to get there, sometimes we have to shift ourselves from this linear model of seeing things into this 5D model where everything is occurring simultaneously. So breaking through that initial resistance can be like, oh, treachery, drudgery, but then having finished the task at hand is this amazing sense of accomplishment. It's the sense of like, wow, I did it. I can now reward myself in some way. And sometimes giving ourselves a reward at the end of the task that we embark upon is just as easy, just as helpful. Like, okay, I'm going to do this workout and then I'm going to go and eat my favorite kind of food or something. So framing it in that way is helpful, but also relishing in what that accomplishment really feels like in your body. Do you remember that sense of accomplishment? You've had it before. You want it again, right? So keep setting yourselves up for it. If you can frame it in that way, it's so much more powerful. So my example of, well, working out may not be that fun, but I know that getting this relationship or having these connections feels really good. So I, instead of focusing upon the drudgery of it the whole time working out back then in the day, focusing on, oh wow, I'm gonna have this connection, feels so good, feels like love. Oh, I've never felt that before. I wonder what that feels like. Doing yoga and qigong now, and other exercises to really get my body in alignment. I'm focusing on, wow, like it's gonna feel so good when all of these pain and all these weird awkward spaces from years of carrying these backpacks is gone. And sometimes, I spend a lot of time now working on the computer, messaging people, making these videos, typing. It seems to take more time than I thought it did when I had the vision of, yeah, I'm gonna help people online and make videos and produce content and be active in this shift. And I was at points bothered by it, like, oh, all of my time is going away. But then I have been able to frame it now and like, wow, like I see what this is doing for people, and people around the world are being inspired. They're coming into this energy of love. They're thanking me, and this is filling my heart up. So I just feel that every time that I go to make a video or do something. And even today, like for example, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to make a video about, but now I made this commitment to make a video every day, to come out to this amazing spot that I found and shoot here and allow these energies to come to work. So I tapped into that sense of how that would sit with people, even if maybe not everyone likes this video. This is a video that's kind of boring for some of my audience. I know it's going to reach somebody, so here I am. So some other tips that come up noticing the beautiful green things of the trees. And I have heard that before, that the color green, when we focus upon that, opens and expands us to the sense of motivation and energy, vitality, because after all, green is that heart chakra. Green is the most abundant color in the world. So if you visualize green, or even like in the United States, the money is green, like, oh yeah, like this is part of my abundance, even if it isn't totally related. A friend had this amazing motivation technique, and at first I was kind of like, I don't understand why she's saying this, but here's the thing, is like, it doesn't have to make sense to everyone. If it makes sense to you, it's totally great. So her motivation technique was, every time she goes and works out, it's $100. She gets $100 just for doing it. And this makes sense because when you understand that it's again about the state of passion and excitement that you feel, that's the attractive force. It doesn't matter what you do. All of it is leading you to raise your vibration, and every time you raise your vibration, that is bringing you more abundance, more of the things you need, more connection, more love, more joy. So you can think of it that way. Just tell yourself, every time I'm about to do this thing, I'm going to get $100 or $1,000 or $10. I don't know what your value is. But something that's exciting and enticing for you. Tell yourself these stories. Other things that are super exciting are, having accountability buddies, or even now we have social media. So when you say, dear social media, I am quitting smoking cigarettes, I am starting a workout program, I am writing a book, I am doing this, I am doing that, that in a way allows you to kind of feel that support from others, and it gives you more of a sense of commitment to what you're doing. And the more I've gone on this path, the more this has come true to me. And you can look at the gene keys, gene key 29, or in the human design, the gate 29. It's about saying yes. In the gene keys, it's the energy of commitment, and the shadow of that is half-heartedness. So the understanding of this is when we transcend our half-heartedness, and we transcend the sense of not knowing what to do because one path leads there, one path leads there, and we're afraid of the wrong outcome, and we just commit to our ideals, then luck happens. Luck is not something mysterious that only some people have. Luck is the energy that supports everyone who fully says yes and fully puts everything they've got into their actions in the world. And this helps so much, because once the universe hears that you are committed to it and you're here for it, then there's going to be more signs and synchronicities that support you in doing it. So make sure that it comes from the heart, and the more you come back from the heart, doing what you love will always be natural and easy. And sometimes, again, these things that we have to do in order to get where we're going are not the most exciting things, like the paperwork or writing the emails and doing this or that isn't the most exciting part of what any of us do, but in our world we've got to do it. So when we focus and we shift our awareness out of this 3D timeline into the end result of feeling the passion, feeling the accomplishment, feeling the gratitude, it's so much easier to go about everything. And sometimes we have to go in a bit of a roundabout way and do something first that fills us with love and joy. And other times we have to make that most exciting thing our reward for doing the more drudgerous thing. It's totally different in every situation for every person. So you might want to play with those two different techniques. I would say that perhaps when you're feeling the most heavy and lethargic, like nothing is motivating you at all, it may be good to do that little quick reward, that thing that perks you up. Go take a walk in nature, take a swim in the lake. It's illegal right now, sorry. Coronavirus is in the lake. So, and other times you may want to make the most exciting thing your reward and say, wow, once I wake up and start to do this thing, I'm going to get there in the end. So see things as part of a process. And when we have that more holistic thinking, that it's not just this separate step that's really annoying. That step is part of a bigger process, and I'm seeing that step as part of the bigger process. I'm seeing that step of working out as having healthy relationships. I'm seeing that step as doing my yoga practices, being a peaceful, humble, and connected person. I'm seeing that process of taking this online course as starting my own online business and creating projects and helping the world grow and ascend. I'm seeing actually everything I do as part of the Earth's ascension, because everything that's my excitement helps me be more of my natural self and open my connection to my higher self. When I'm connected to my higher self and the love and the light is flowing, that energy ripples out to everyone, and I almost have to do nothing. And the more I go along this path, the more I realize how effortless it is. It's just my state of being after kind of building up this sort of inner bank account of exciting acts, things that fill me with passion, joy, connection, and connect me with others. The more just naturally this energy radiates out from me that affects other people without me having to do anything. And I get emails and messages like, wow, like what you did just catalyzed so much for me. And at first it was a bit baffling to me, like, I'm just here being myself. Like, it's not like I'm straining myself over any of this. I'm doing it because I love it. And just the fact that I'm in that state of love can do so much energetically to people. I see, after building my connection with the starseed energy, the extraterrestrials, so much, like I go to certain spiritual gatherings and people are like, wow, your skin just turned blue for a second, you must be really connected. And I'm not doing anything in that moment. I'm like crying and bawling my eyes out. I'm being my authentic self, being authentic to who I am in the moment. And that's really what opens up the biggest windows of connection. So honor yourself, be where you're at, and then see what your next steps are. Finally, last thing, you can get in touch with a future version of yourself. You can go into an altered state of consciousness, hypnotherapy, meditation. You don't need somebody else to do this. You just need to do a meditation. And maybe I need to make a meditation soon about connecting with your higher, your future self, and establishing some connections there. That'll be tomorrow's video. And when you can get connected with that future version of yourself, and you see from their perspective, you can ask them tips. How did you get to that point? And they can show you every step along the way from, whoa, there's a crazy lizard there. Every step along, it ran away. Every step along the way from, I'll hold the camera for a second, it's shaky, but it's kind of cool. Alternate angles. Every step along the way from where they are to where you are. And you can see all the steps along the way. You can see the love and the joy that filled them as they became who they are in their journey. And you can finally come to that initial point right now, seeing the next step that leads you in the path of becoming your highest future self. And once you have established that, you can really open up a lot of doors. And trust in that vision of the future self that you've seen. And always remember that guidance you've tapped into, and know that, this is an abundant universe that can provide for all of us, and there's gifts and beauty and light for every single person out there. So you can achieve, you can become exactly who you want to be. And it just starts in this moment with doing what fills you with the most love and cultivating that love to share with the world and become who you really want to be. I hope that's helped. Let me know if you have questions and if there's any subjects you want me to share about in the upcoming videos. I'm going to really try to capture these lizards on the camera. I'm done, but there's lizards here and they're so cute. There's 2 of them. Can you see that? They respond very quickly. Oh, it's gone. They live in these rocks. I have no idea what the camera's picking up. Lizards! The lizards are cute. So, if you look over there, it's Toliman, Atitlan, San Pedro. And that little hill over there is called Cerro de Oro, Hill of Gold. And if you've read that book, The Little Prince, There's a strange image in the beginning that's a snake eating an elephant, and it's based on that hill. He wrote that book here in Lake Atitlan, Guatemala. They've got all sorts of plants over there. They chopped them all down yesterday. You may have heard the chopping in the video. Here's the dock. I live over there. I feel so blessed. I have a affordable opportunity because of the lockdown to live next to the lake. Here's my favorite kind of tree. It's almost like a willow, but not like the North Willow. Okay. One thing about motivation is it can be challenging to get all of the things that one is motivated about in, but I feel busier now than ever. You know, working with people, making videos, doing my own practice, taking care of myself too. And I just feel like it's a flow all the time. It's endless. And, you know, I used to spend a lot of time with free time, and now I have no free time. And I was kind of more sad when I had free time. And now that I fill my time with everything, and it was a little bit overwhelming at first, like, oh gosh, like, how am I ever going to fit it all in? And now I don't care about fitting it all in. I just care about being empowered and impassioned in the moment and doing what serves the moment the most. And I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. It keeps me busy and just excited for the next moments. Anyway, ciao for now. Oh, like, subscribe, all the things, share, you know, what we have to say on YouTube. Bye.